Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 2018 CSL Grand Finals for the JV1 League of Legends squad. My name is Kyle Corvus Crow. I'm joined at the desk today by Joshua Fekes Quest as we are getting ready to bring you the final best of three between Simon Fraser University and Illinois.
It's going to be real interesting. Illinois, they have yet to drop a best of three in their entire run thus far. Simon Fraser, they had a little bit of trouble going against UBC last night, but they prevailed. They're here today. They're both competing for that $5,000 grand prize at the end of the line here, not to mention the recognition for this school. It's going to be very exciting. It's a best of three, but this is the last best of three we have to go through for this JV tournament.
Yeah, a lot of questions around this matchup, too. You know, undefeated Illinois and then Simon Fraser. Everyone thought it was going to be UBC yesterday that was going to be here in their stead.
A lot of hype around them.
It was a team that was a favorite to win it all. Simon Fraser made themselves the underdogs and came out on top for it. Now, potentially a similar story coming up against this Goliath of an undefeated team. There's a lot on the plate here.
Really enjoy this because not only are Illinois, they're here in the JV finals, they're also, their varsity side is actually in going to LA for the Riot Championship collegiate tournament as well. So all around great programs coming from that school. A lot of dedication being put into their research, the programs, the staff, the practices, and it's paying off hugely for both of them.
Definitely the case. Always love to see it. Talent grooming talent, having a sister team maybe to scrim against an upper level, something to aspire to for some of those JV players trying to get to the top echelons of that program, and they're all keeping each other sharp. Meanwhile, Simon Fraser almost made it, right? They were in the same play-in pool for the varsity that we saw Illinois scrape their way out of. Separate groups, of course, and it was only Maryland that really eventually did prevail over Simon Fraser to take that last spot and push themselves on through. So some Big Ten representation coming through. Simon Fraser, another school, similar program, similar style, but not quite the same result as they may have wanted that Illinois has so coveted here on the desk today.
Simon Fraser, of course, wants to turn that around on the JV side of things, give some legacy to their school, and some asset, some facet of League of Legends. JV just might be their time. They seemed confident yesterday in the interview. We had interviews yesterday. You saw them yesterday. If not, go check those VODs, of course. But they seem confident. They also won the 1v1 tournament, by the way. There's a 1v1 League of Legends tournament, and all the winners, there was 4 prizes to be won. Simon Fraser won all of them, by the way. Just want to throw that one out there, too.
It's outstanding. Yeah, I really loved to see that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to get into these games before too long, but before we do that, we actually do have a recap video of day one standing by, all of the fun stuff that happened here at Huntington Beach for the live finals, not just League of Legends specific content.
There's a lot here.
Yeah, we're going to roll that on your screen and kind of catch you up on what happened yesterday here. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for sticking around with us through that recap video. Hope you got to see all the fun that we had. Day 1 here at Huntington Beach, a taste of what's to come here. Day number 2. I have traded out Joshua Fekka's quest for, of course, Coach Darian Chow of Simon Fraser University JV1 League of Legends. And you got a pretty important game coming up, don't you, here?
Yep.
Okay, well, how have you and the team been feeling about your chances throughout this game and just kind of the general atmosphere around this match in particular?
Personally, we feel pretty confident because we did take down one of our harder matchups, being UBC, who have been giving us a lot of trouble, and we want to really ride the momentum coming into this game and hope it really just gives us that good boost throughout the series.
Sure. Okay, looking at Illinois, they're an undefeated team thus far. I know UBC as well had a pretty stellar record. Does that affect any of the way that you prepare for this game, or are you just looking to come out and kind of play your own style in your own game?
Personally, I mean, the undefeated records, playoff records, season records, those don't really matter. I mean, I'm not trying to be VM. Columbia College had an undefeated record, and we 2-0'd them.
Okay, I like to hear it. So, did you see the match actually yesterday between Illinois and Robert Morris University?
Yeah, we all watched most of it.
Was there any degree of preparation and VOD review that went into that that's going to affect your strategies coming in today?
I mean, we all prepared in our own ways. We did do VOD review, we did do some scouting, and some other things that I don't want to leak. But
Sure, of course not. We don't need to give anything crazy away. Who's your in-game leader? Who's the guy that captains the team when you're not coaching directly in-game?
probably our ADC, but he doesn't really, in terms of how it runs, it's like, he's kind of our captain, but at the same time, everyone has an equal voice on a team, and I believe that everyone can captain the team in their own way, so it's just a bit more like everyone has equal input.
Okay. A lot of nerves around this match today, or are you guys feeling pretty calm?
Pretty calm.
Okay, I'm glad to hear it. Coming in collected, and that's what you need to be. What would a win here mean for the Simon Fraser JV guys today to take this entire grand finals and crown yourselves the first ever JV1 champions?
For a lot of players, I mean, this is the first JV1 thing, right?
Yes,
like,
this is the very first.
I mean, it kind of cements this really nice legacy for the players and SFU Esports, being the first JV1 champions. For some of our players, some of them, I guess it means a lot more because we have some players that want to trial for ULOL, CLOL next year, and then you have some that are just, one of our players wants to go try for scouting grounds too.
Okay.
And personally, I feel like a win in this tournament would do a lot for the SFU Esports, just association and club in general, because we really want to push the esports program at our school and get the support we need.
Okay, well, we're all rooting for you. Darian, thank you so much for your time today on the
Thank you for
desk. We
having
wish
me.
you the best of luck in your match to come, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kyle Corvus Crow, joined by Coach Darian Chow of course, Simon Fraser University. We got to let him go prepare with his team and get ready for this matchup. We're going to cut to a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to have Joshua Fekka's Quest interviewing with the coach of Illinois.
Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Joshua Fekka's Quest, here with an interview with the coach of Illinois, AJ Sinkships Taylor.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, of
How are
course.
you enjoying sunny California?
It's great. I was just telling somebody actually like 2.5 weeks ago, we just had snow on a Monday. So it's,
Yeah.
we come out here, we're like going like this the entire time, can't see outside. So it was just, it's really nice. The weather's been beautiful. It's like 60 degrees. It's a little chilly, but we perfectly fine. So
And you're enjoying the overall CSL finals. Obviously, there's more in league. You guys are
Yeah.
enjoying a lot of other things. How are you feeling about it?
I mean, I'm really excited. I watch a lot of Smash as well, basically. So I'm excited.
we got
I
a
want to
Smash
see
here,
like
yeah.
Hungry Box is coming
Yeah.
in. I'm hoping he's unfortunately during our games, but I want to see if I can get like a
There's
little signature.
there's a meet and greet later
Yeah.
on.
1 o'clock, I think.
If you guys can 2-0.
No, yeah. Quickly enough,
Yeah,
basically,
you might. So
to get it started.
Let's talk about that, actually. You're
Sure.
taking on Simon Fraser.
Yeah.
You have yet to drop a best of 3.
Yeah.
How are you feeling going into this one as the finals?
I think we're really confident, mainly because we had actually scrimmed Simon Fraser, I think, about a week and a half ago or so. We were impressed by the first game. I'll give you a little bit of tidbit. We only did 2 games. They did a 1-1 for us. We won the second game. I think that we might drop game 1, basically, and we're perfectly fine with that. We did the same thing with RMU. You know, there's nerves and everything else like that. But after that, I think that it would be a very clean game for us in game 2s and 3. So
yeah, I don't remember who it was, but we were out after the games. You know, we were all famished. We all went to the food truck.
Yep.
One of the players was saying that he felt like he knew that he was playing terrible in game 1.
Yeah.
And then there was like that, and he
Just a switch.
And which I envy. I can't do that. But that is something that you guys don't worry about. You know you can do that.
Yeah, I mean, if you really look over game 1, honestly, other than a small bit of like micro mistakes, basically, I think that we should have won game 1 handedly. We had a lot of the tempo and a lot of control, but we made a mechanical macro play basically where we kind of messed up and they got Baron off of that, and then once they got Baron, it just started rolling. So it was more so like. RMU was a great opponent, don't get me wrong, but it was more so of a game for us to lose than for them to win, basically.
Yeah, the game number 1, you got all. I think you got 3 or 4 Drakes.
Yeah.
You denied them all.
Yeah, we got all Drakes.
You denied them all the
Elder,
Drakes,
yep.
and then they got all the Barons in
Yeah,
return.
yeah.
Now you say the first. I mean, there were more than just one Baron.
Yeah.
But so that does show that you can play on a defensive end and
Correct.
still prevail somehow. You know, in a best of 3 series.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things. In a best of 3, you just said that you're not really worried about dropping that game number 1, even though that in a best of 3, that's extremely crucial.
Yes.
How do you get your team over that sort of mental aspect? Because again, going into a best of 3, you lose that game number 1. It is all on the line in game number 2, but you guys seem to play cool about it and just come back 2-0 no problem. That's what you did yesterday.
Yeah.
How do you train your team to get over that mental hurdle?
We actually scrim our main team a lot. We actually did this morning as well, so shout outs to them. I appreciate them on doing that a lot. But we normally would lose game 1 pretty handedly. They like to just stomp our butts pretty quickly. So I think that it's kind of just getting used to that the losing game 1 and then picking it back up from game 2. I think that once they realize the nerves are perfectly fine, that there's still a lot on the line, but like we can play our game, and if we play our game, like we're going to be able to cinch out no matter what. Basically, we watched SFU versus UBC. We weren't too impressed by a lot of the macro decisions. I know that they were targeting out their jungler basically, but you can't target ban any of our people. Like even if you do, it's perfectly fine. We have thousands more that we can be able to, there's not 1,000 champions, but there's a lot more that we can be able to bring out, and we've prepared for all the cases just in case. So.
Yeah, SFU, if we didn't catch the UBC game, they were banning out Boyru.
Oh yeah,
they 5 bans on that one. Are you prepared for? So you said you're prepared for something like that. If somebody takes, if one of the SFU team takes away 5 champions from your guys' pool, you're ready.
Yeah, I think that's a complete disadvantage because we would be getting so much more priority in lane. Hopefully SFU's not listening, but I mean, there's Kaisa, Caitlyn. You can go to the list for bot lanes. Basically, our support plays a huge number of different champions, and if anything, our jungler is also, he's got at least 7 things, and he's a Kha'Zix 1 trick. So if they take away Kha'Zix, we're already at like a good advantage for us, basically. So we'll see exactly what happens, but otherwise, I don't think that we're going to be too concerned.
Understand. We're going to wrap this up because you have a
Sure.
game to prepare for your team for and go through the drafting phase.
Yeah.
Do you have any last shout-outs or anything last words you want to say?
Yeah, I mean, I really want to shout out Illini Esports. They've been very helpful towards us. We've been really proud that they've been able to support us in a lot of different ways, basically. Specifically, I want to thank Chivas. He's our manager. He helped us a lot with pick and bans, and everybody else in the main team. They really helped us get ready and have been cheering us back at home. Thank you so much to anybody else that's been able to watch our streams, and thanks to CSL, honestly, for bringing us out here. So we appreciate that a lot, too.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah,
Thank you for the interview. Good luck in your game.
Thank you, Ficus.
I'll see you around the convention no matter.
Yeah.
All right. And with that being said, that's the last interview. We're actually going to go to a quick break. We're going to get ready for this last best of 3 CSL JV Finals. Be back in just a moment.
And we welcome you back yet again, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kyle Corvus Crow, joined at the desk today by Joshua Fekez Quest. He saw some fun recap videos, intro videos, interviews with some outstanding player coaches here. Both of them feeling pretty confident coming into this match. It's what you want. It's that level of calm, poise that they need to, of course, take themselves into the championships.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want the pressure to get to you. This is not where you want pressure to get to you. Now, the $5,000 on the line, second place prize is $2,500, so they're not going to go away empty-handed no matter what. But, of course, you always want that $5,000 prize. You want the grand prize no matter what. That is what both these teams are playing for. You don't want pressure to get in the way of that. Pressure could cost you $2,500, and that is never a good thing. So both these teams doing the best job to keep their players cool, also keep themselves calm and collected as well.
Well, it didn't cost them anything yesterday as they did go through and push past the pressure.
Yep.
We saw both teams coming in here with a 2-1 record over their opponent. Means they did go down a game in the series and bounced back regardless. As we do get into picks and bans here, we're going to have that up on your screen. Breaking down the games yesterday, for Illinois, it was a loss in the first one and then 2 consecutive wins. For Simon Fraser, they won the first, lost the second, and came back and won the third and final game.
Illinois, the interview I just had with Stinkships, said he's used to losing the first game. Said that they usually scrim the Big Ten Illinois team, and that they usually just stomp them in the first game, and then they come back. And so they come back and give up a fight in the next game, but they're usually used to losing that first game. And that's why they said yesterday they weren't feeling any pressure by losing that first game to RMU. If they lose the first game here to SFU, same thing is going to apply. They're just going to stay cool, stay collected, try to bring it back 2 games in. But, of course, we have to get there first. They're banning away the cinch from Zaker. Zaker, he is a prominent cinch player. Loves that cinch. You're seeing cinch banned away from him in every game he's played today. There's been no cinch on the Rift.
Yeah, definitely not allowed to have that one for himself. Robert Morris University banned it. First ban.
Yeah.
3 games out of 3 yesterday. Be surprised if it comes through at all today, as now Zach is taken off of the card here. Not going to be able to make a showing. Jungle Boy had an impeccable 3 games on Zach yesterday. Everywhere he needed to be. Right place, right time. And so taking that one out of their respective pool. Pretty good move by Simon Fraser University here.
Jungle Boy, he, like you said, played 3 games of Zach yesterday, so he's going to be falling back onto something that he they're trying to make him a little bit uncomfortable. If anything, take off that Zach and make sure that he can't be, they don't have to deal with this elastic slingshot or the let's bounce sort of initiation and bring back the enemy team into their friendly fire here. So Shogoth is going to be the first one locked in for SFU, and that's going to be followed by the bot lane being shown for Illinois. Caitlin Morgana, extremely strong right now in the meta.
Yeah, they left up both. They said, hang on. Caitlin and Morgana, both really strong picks. We saw Timmy Tommy have a destructive Morgana on the desk yesterday. This guy came through in the 3rd game and completely nullified the support LeBlanc pick out of Robert Morris University. So I know that bot lane has a lot of priority. Now, want to touch on this too with the Xayah ban. Jin on the table now for Erase. Erase played 3 games on Xayah yesterday, the entire series for that champion. So now he's forced onto something new as well. It's the same story, of course, with Jungle Boy over on the likes of Illinois. But with that, we have quick picks on the side of Simon Fraser. They know what they want. They go Jin, Zoe very quickly. Saw Zoe come out for Shimmy yesterday. And that will conclude now our first round of the picking phase as we head into band phase 2.
Shimmy loves playing Zoe. I believe over 150 games in solo queue thus far this season. Prominent Zoe player. Did very well on her yesterday. Wants to go back onto that comfort pick today, so it wasn't banned out. Simon Fraser, they don't have a jungler. They don't have a support. You're not going to focus too much on the supports. Maybe take out a Braum, since Tom Kinch is already taken out. That way you give less protection over to that immobile Jhin. Gnar being taken away from Zaker, but with the Skarner taken out, that is a little bit less of a pool for Django. But I don't think that's going to affect him too much. There's only 2 junglers actually taken off the board.
Right.
Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if this is a Braum. It's actually going to be a Graves. They're going to focus more on Django's aggressive jungling matchups and take out the Graves. So not going to be worrying about that one.
No, I mean, too, with Django, we saw him play 2 games of Skarner yesterday, won both of them. And so with that champion taken out of the champion pool, now Graves was the other one he played. So we will see him on something new as well. A little bit of a revenge play maybe from Jungle Boy. Says, you take out my pool, I'll take out yours. And that does conclude the ban phase as Talia, the last one off the table. No surprises there. Simon Fraser do not want to see that one come out from Kerbeck here. Kerbeck had some prolific games on the Rise, on the Swain, and the Xerath.
Swain is banned out, so not going to get that one. Rise is still the option here, though against a Zoe, might not be the best idea. Xerath is going to be a little bit safer. But they do lock in the orange, so that is their big initiation in the top side, along with a big two tank front line on the side of Illinois as well. With the Trundle going to the jungle for Jungle Boy. Gonna see how SFU retaliate here. They have their support, they have their jungle. Wouldn't be surprised to see an Olaf here, though. We do see a Kha'Zix. He loves that aggressive jungling style. Kha'Zix being one of those. He's going to take that one up.
Yeah, he's going to look to get to the back line. It's insanely smart. There's not a lot that Kha'Zix can, that Morgana can do, rather, to spell shield the Kha'Zix initiation. So coming through and just a quick burst of all just raw attack damage. Spell shield's not really going to offer a whole lot of protection in that department. And now with a Karma support locked in, it's a little bit tougher into the Morgana, but it offers some poke back as a chance into Caitlyn, and it makes sense in at least the capacity that you are not going to want to spell shield every single mantra that Karma's going to throw out. It just doesn't make sense. You'll get 1 or 2 here and there through important trades, but by and large, it's still going to be able to get a lot of its harass out, and you're really going to wait to use the spell shield for the snare.
The real interesting thing that's coming out from SFU is they only have 1 tank front line right now, that being Cho'Gath. That leaves a lot of vulnerable targets, and they're going to try to supplement that with a Karma, get those spell not the spell shields, just get the AoE shield and the speed boost for the whole team. Something that both Django's on Kha'Zix and Erase on Jhin can really use. Of course, Shimmy doesn't really need that with Zoe. Zoe is so tricky, can just, warp in and out, doesn't really have to worry too much about being sped up. But that does leave a lot of targets vulnerable if Kerbeck can land any of these shockwaves after being followed up after a Call of the Forge God initiation from Zaker. There's a lot of targets for Illinois to pick out here.
Absolutely. So with Shimmy now on to the Zoe, as we will be coming back on your screen to hang out with you for the duration of this 3-minute delay, of course. Zoe played by Shimmy into Katarina yesterday. That was the champion that UBC played. And we saw just absolute dominance. We thought, okay, hey, it's 2 very burst-heavy mages in the mid lane. This could be a bloodbath. This could be a lot of fun. Which way does it go? Not a matchup we see too often. He destroyed Katarina in the mid lane throughout. I know the game kind of went different directions, and it wasn't just the 1v1 matchup, but in this capacity, Orianna much safer.
Yes.
But at the same time, you have to wonder if this is not just a huge priority for Shimmy here. I mean, he picked it up in the first rotation because he did not want to get banned out and kind of targeted in the second round of bans. That's relatively uncommon to pick your mid laner in the first round of picks.
You typically don't, because you want to save that for the end to see what kind of composition you're going into. With a 2-tank front line, Zoe still has a little bit of leeway to get the paddle star into the back lines. That is one of the things. So Zoe has, when Zoe popped up, was a very prevalent mid laner because of just how much burst you can lay down. They've nerfed that a little bit, but one of the things that also changed was the meta. started getting more of these tanky front lines, and then you have to get through the tanks to get this paddle start to really hit anybody, because I mean the tanks will take it. They might get a fourth of their life chunked, but by the mid game to the late game, you can just restore all that with just items. Most of them build a Warmogs anyways, so there wasn't really much that Zoe could do. Shimmy though, feeling comfortable on that one. It is a pocket pick. It's very very Shimmy-like with the way he plays it. Now, I want to point out, against that Katarina, he didn't do very well in the first 10 minutes or so. Katarina actually got 2 kills on him and was kind of running all over him, but it did prevail in the end with just how the team comp scaled up. But individual laning mechanics is being the topic here. He might be having a little bit of trouble if he's going to go against Kerbex or Iana.
Well, we'll see, too. Another thing to consider with this Zoe is that he played it into a Karma support yesterday. That's fine. That's all well and good. Not necessarily the same case into a Morgana support, where it gets a little bit trickier for him now, and the Black Shield can really create a lot of trouble for your composition, especially if they're able to put it onto some of that front line that Zoe would like to just be chewing away at, the likes of a Trundle, the likes of the Ornn for Zaker, and Jungle Boy, of course. So with that, there's a lot to keep in mind, and a lot that may not go as expected for the draft here for Simon Fraser University. It's a strong draft. Classic League of Legends out of the likes of Illinois here, and it's going to be a tough composition to overcome, so of course we will see how all of that pans out. But of course, first, ladies and gentlemen, we do have some sponsors that we just got to tell you how wonderful they are and have been to us. So we're going to give a huge shout out to Twitch TV here. Twitch.tv is where you are right now watching these games, most likely. Keep up with all the fun stuff they're doing. Find ways to get involved. Twitter.com/Twitch, Facebook.com/Twitch. Events like this, like Huntington Beach for the CSL, would not be possible without their help. Want to give a huge shout out to Juice Battery. You can see the lovely purple cups in front of us here. The long story short is that Juice Battery lasts 6 times as long and charges up twice as fast. It's the only battery designed for gamers. So with that, never go into a match mouse dying midway through controller if you play on the consoles. You never want that to happen.
In the world.
Well, Juice Battery, you can avoid that, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, last but not least, we do have to give a huge shout out to iBuyPower for providing the machines that all of the players are here today representing with. It's all across the venue, from Fortnite and Counter-Strike, Dota, to the League of Legends players playing right here. Yeah, iBuyPower, top to bottom. These guys have been treating us like royalty. So follow all of them on their own social medias. Look them up, and cannot thank them enough. But with that, Fekez, we are into game.
Finals, best of 3, game number 1. This is it. This is going into a long road for for both of these teams. It's coming to a head here.
This entire season is culminating right here, right now. They've all been building up to this. And so
you see both teams drawing a line of scrimmage. They don't want to. They don't want to be too aggressive here.
We saw some fun invades yesterday.
Yeah,
but
a lot of them actually.
This time, maybe not as much.
Illinois was the perpetrator of those a lot of times actually. Illinois and RMU, but they're going to play conservative because they know what's on the line here. $2,500 for the second place finisher here. 5,000, double that for the first place finisher. And like I said, you don't want overzealousness. You don't want pressure to cost you $2,500.
No, certainly not. That would be awful. And while Illinois may be no strangers to losing the first game, it's not something that they ever want to just go in expecting to be the case. So with that, pretty defensive starts from both squads. It's going to be both junglers opting to start their top side of the map. It'll be the red for Jungle Boy, the blue for Didango. Obviously, that's non-optional on Kha'Zix these days. You do just need to start the blue for various reasons, but early trades into the bot side of things. Expect this is going to be a lane where we might see a lot of blood.
That's kind of how SFU is built. They're built for blood. They have an aggressive jungler. They have they have a Jhin, a very powerful Jhin with that 4th shot. You want to get that off as the last hit kill, easy. And then of course Shimmy needs to be able to clear the wave and roam. That is one of the highlights of mid lane right now, is being able to fast clear the mid lane and then roam. You can do that so much better at level 6, most champions, because you want to roam down with your ultimates. Zoe, it's not super prevalent, but it does increase the damage of your Q, and that's what you want. As obviously the further it goes, the more damage it does, and your ultimate does help with that. So do want to be able to get them going as fast as possible.
Well, you were talking about the way that they've geared themselves around this bottom lane. Of course, we do have Erase popped off 13-0 and 7 the last game of yesterday to carry so heavily. So no surprise too. We were talking to obviously their coach for Simon Fraser. He was saying that he's sort of an in-game leader. They like to give everybody a voice. We'll get to that in a second because Shimmy having to try to turn it around onto Kerbeck, and that's a nice first blood from Didango.
Might get another one.
He
There's
might
the
not
aggression.
be done yet. They flash in. It's
trouble bubble.
drowsy, but you cannot dive a tower at level 3.
That's the aggression that we're talking about. Instant flash, jump in, Kha'Zix, Didango, more aggression on the bottom.
Yeah, they want to find Timmy Tommy here. Erase is not going to stop until he
has
gets
a flash.
flash
There it
in for
is.
the 4th shot. And it's a lovely couple pickups now from Simon Fraser University as they find the first 2 kills now. Illinois probably not going to be too concerned about this themselves. They did go 3 kills down in a matter of seconds the last game they played against Robert Morris University. And of course, they were able to turn that back around with conviction. This is a team that is not afraid of playing to their strengths and knowing that even if they get down a little bit, they can claw their way back in pretty easily.
But we are talking about that aggression that SFU need to play with, and they're doing a great job. Already 4 minutes in, not even 5 minutes in, they got 2 kills out of that, using that aggression and that bot side. So I'm saying that 4th shot, flash, execute.
Loved it.
You have to execute with that before level 6 if you want to get a kill. And now we are seeing both teams just going to try to recuperate themselves as we do see actually an invasion coming out. Jungle Boy is taking out the Raptors of Didango. And if the enemy jungler is going to be that aggressive and you're not going to be able to match it, you have to make him suffer somehow. And Jungle Boy is going to do that by taking some of the camps of Didango.
Yeah, counter jungling definitely a team effort, as is often said in League of Legends. This time, Jungle Boy just trying to make sure that Kerbeck can be a little bit safer. He drops a defensive ward. He takes away that coveted chicken camp and makes sure that Didango is going to be a little bit on the back foot there because they do not want repeat ganks coming now onto the flashless Orianna. A little bit more action in the top lane, perhaps not too crazy thus far, just everybody calming themselves on down and getting back to basic with the way this game has been going. Perhaps a dark binding here in the bot lane. Said Maverick eats that one up. He's not too worried. And look at that with a mantra. They bait out the black shield. And Yaba not going to have any protection now for the next time that AP harass comes out. So I like what I'm seeing with this early aggression coming out from the likes now of Simon Fraser. They do need to maintain this tempo if they want to get anywhere in this game, and that what becomes a little bit tougher down the line. You can set the pace early, and that's fine, but maintaining it, that's where it gets troublesome. Trouble Bubble makes it sleepy. Kerbeck cleanses that one out, but it's just too late. Did not have the flash to be safe, and Zoe taking the kill for that one. Shimmy gets a kill for himself there. And Didango, an assist on the board. 1-0-1 for both of these guys.
That is how fast you can be absolutely taken down from a Kha'Zix if you're isolated. He had the cleanse. Kerbeck had the cleanse. His cleanse, the sleepy trouble bubble. It didn't even matter because Didango was there. Kerbeck was isolated. That is a mass amount of damage between the Paddle Star and the Q from Didango, and the isolation bonus as well. There's so much damage on the side of SFU. They have to get this rolling. They're doing a great job with it thus far.
Kha'Zix was something we saw heavily banned yesterday throughout a lot of different teams. It was not just, of course, against Simon Fraser here. It should have been. There's a good use of the Black Shield, but the damage is still there. Timmy Tommy only avoided the root with that one, so did take quite the beating. Yaba not in the best shape as well, so while Erase is a little low on mana, not going to be too worried about that because they have so much lane priority now. Already up a good 10 CS here. And so with that, they're going to be getting into an advantageous position. We have a flash in, though. This is going to be dangerous. Or flash out, sorry. Set Maverick trying to get away from this one, but the pillar is going to cause him some trouble, and he's going to go down. Kerbeck takes that kill away gleefully and is going to feel outstanding, getting one back on the board here. It is the mid lane carry that they do need to donate this one over to, so with that in mind, it's what they want, and they'd like to get it onto Yaba, but they are not going to have any complaints about that gold going over to Kerbeck here, and with all that, got to be feeling pretty decent about their chances throughout this game, and it's all well and good.
That is something that both Illinois sorely needed, especially in that mid lane. Needed some sort of reprieve, considering he's died twice. Getting that kill is going to help him out so much.
Taking a tower shot. Shimmy not too worried about that one.
He's still taking the Dark Seal, by the way, so he still has 2 stacks on the Dark Seal. Let's not forget about that. Kerbeck, he can build up ever so slightly. He's obviously, down a little bit. He's gotten focused by Didango because, they know how vulnerable it is. There's so much burst again coming out from the jungle and the mid lane that it's easy to take out Kerbeck. But if Kerbeck can just roam down to the bot side like he did, catch people out, even use his shockwave whenever he needs to.
Ooh, this could be dangerous. Root onto Yaba. Black Shield not there in time, but
Oh,
Binding
Timmy
doesn't
Tommy's in
connect,
trouble.
and so this does not bode well for Timmy Tommy. They're just trying to buy some time for Jungle Boy to get down there, but here's the teleport, and Kha'Zix is coming in as well. They'll find Set Maverick on the front end of this, and with a flash out to tower, does the root become enough? There is, of course, a call of the Forge God. It's going to knock up 2, but here's Aelith. He's trying to make something happen. Doesn't matter. Double kill already coming through. They find one back as K-Shimmy is in there himself and gets a kill. Little earlier on the roam, and that brings us tied up to 4-4 in kills, but Shimmy's not done. He's waiting over in the wings here because he knows he can burst out most anybody. Flashes over, and look at this. Yaba is the target. The spell shield is going to be enough, and Aelith trying to get out. Shimmy, though, not done, says Timmy. Tommy wants that blood and will sacrifice his own life for it. That means 3 kills now over onto Zaker, and that's a lot to trade for some mid lane priority. We'll see if it's going to be enough for him.
SFU just got 2 kills, while Illinois, they got 4 kills. There's a lot of action on that bot side. Zaker just got himself 3 kills, and he's still up in farm, technically over Aelith. Both teleports were used, so those are going to be down, but Zaker came out so strong in that, and that is going to be such a huge burden onto Aelith on that top side.
Yeah, he's obviously got an uphill battle to deal with right now. He's no stranger to the Cho'Gath. It's something that, we saw him play 2 games out of 3, I believe, and then it was banned against him in the 3rd. They didn't want him playing that. So, obviously, this is a super comfort pick for him. If there's any champion that he can make a comeback with, it would be this one. But at the same time, 3 kills on the Ornn. A lot of bot lane priority built up around that one. Now 5 assists over onto Yaba. The gold difference there is going to be insane. He's actually all tied up. It nullifies the kill entirely despite being down 10 CS and not having the kill. That's the power of just assists.
Sometimes people say that assists don't get you anything, but they really do. I mean, you have to take 5 of them just to get there, but
hey, he's 100% kill participation right now.
And that is really important. That shows how much action is in the bot lane right now for Illinois. Besides the 2 ganks in the mid lane, everything else has been happening in the bot side. Jungle Boy, he's been making his presence felt a lot more in the bot side than anywhere else, though he is going to try to come into the mid lane, but he's only going to clear out a ward, something you still need to do, because vision is so important in this game, especially if you can deny it on the, if you're SFU and can deny it, because then you can't see an invade like this coming out.
Invade indeed. They want to find Jungle Boy just a little bit on the back foot and maybe take away some of his own chickens, give him a taste of his own medicine. It happened. Maybe still bitter about losing that camp on their own side of the jungle, or maybe they just want a little bit of Rift Herald priority. We'll see now. This mid lane not going well for Kerbeck. He is in a lot of trouble here, and that's just one combo out of Shimmy there.
And
he's got a lot to use.
He uses cleanse after all the damage was already put down. He needed to use that during Sleepy Trouble Bubble. I don't think he expected that much damage to come out. I mean, you're going against a Zoe at level 6 at this point. You probably should, consider you can get that extra amount of distance on your paddle star to be able to maximize the damage. So you have to use that cleanse. You cannot just don't get caught by the Sleepy Trouble Bubble. But also, if you do, you have to use that cleanse, or else you're going to get chunked so hard. And now he doesn't have a cleanse to rely on.
Cannot fall back on that, and only has the flash. He's only ever had about 1 summoner to get out of jail when he needs to, and so it's been the cleanse down, then the flash down, and then all it takes is a roam in from Didango here to make things move right back in the nice direction for him. Maybe some friction around this potential dragon area, as we do see some ward getting cleared out. No teleport for either top laner, so this would be the classic 4-on-4 rumble, perhaps, and we'll see if it all does come to that. Mountain Drake not necessarily enticing these players too heavily in the first few minutes of this game. We're only 12 in, and we talked about it. We saw, oh, hang on. Yeah, we might have Timmy Tommy in some trouble. There's no amount of Black Shield that's going to save you from that one, and a drowsy Caitlyn at the edge of it. Isolated means their race just on the cusp of the curtain call. Finds another kill, and Simon Fraser continue to edge out the momentum bit by bit here. Now it looks like they may be trying to focus out this bot lane turret, make sure they get first turret priority, and can fall back to the Drake afterward.
Timmy Tommy was going up there to establish some vision because it just got wiped out. But that was the problem. It just got wiped out. So the SFU remnants were lingering there. They're going to try to answer back in the top lane, though.
He has to kill these minions very quickly here and get the pre-shots out. He's doing a lot of
Why is
damage.
Kerbeck thinking of that?
Yeah, I don't think they intended for that one. First turret goes down. Jungle Boy in a lot of trouble. Shimmy, are you kidding me? 5-1 and 2. This guy is insane right now. 8 kills. He's been a part of 7 of them and collected 5 for himself. Only the other 2 going over to Erase. This is a great distribution thus far.
And I said in the champion select that Shimmy on Zoe. Zoe's not really prevalent because of how tanky the meta is right now.
Doesn't care.
Early on, though, yeah, it doesn't matter. There's no resistances against anything that a 4-1 Shimmy is throwing out on the Zoe. You have to wait until later on to really defend against that sort of thing, but Shimmy's doing a great job taking advantage of the early game where there are no items built and no magic resist built to defend against Paddlestar. If you hit that sleepy trouble bubble, you're going to more than likely die, especially early on, and he's scaling himself up to where he's going to make sure that happens in the mid game as well.
Simon Fraser out to a commanding lead here. First tower, first Drake, 8 kills over 5, and you know, the sun's shining on a couple different spots of the CS here as well, so with that, they are in the lead here by about 2K gold, and while it doesn't make all the difference in the world, they're still setting the tone in a lot of this stuff, like the first lane swap. They're going to be the ones to dictate that. Timmy Tommy and Yaba not quite as quick to the punch on that one. We'll have the long walk back to base and possibly a teleport force out of Zaker. Not going to be into the world to teleport here, of course. There is no dragon to contest, but this means Rift Herald priority already gone, so of course that was taken away. Top lane, not too much to worry about.
Jungle Boy will be trying to use that advantageous position. You want to wait for a wave to come up and maybe looking to do that on the top side. Or actually maybe the bottom side. There's a rotation coming out from SFU right now. They're putting their bot side onto the top side since they took that first turret. First turret gold does go over to SFU, something that we didn't get a look over. There's a lot of action going on pretty much all sides of the map, so some things do get, well, I'll say the direct camera, it doesn't quite get to look at sometimes, so there's going to be a rotation with the bot sides going to the top sides. We're going to see where Jungle Boy decides to use that Rift Herald. Yeah, Didango. He's maybe thinking a little twice about that one, even though Yaba was rooted down there.
Wanted to find himself a quick, clean kill. Said this maybe isn't the best venue for that. Maybe just the top lane thought. Holding off on that information is a little bit more important to him there. Speaking of information, they don't know that Aelith is roaming up on the backline. Kerbeck and Didango here now in a lot of trouble. That's going to be bad news. The flash out, but he's still on the run for his life. And Shimmy says, you're not going to have to run too far. I'll make sure of that. Get you the fastest route back to base possible.
Kerbeck still going to go down. He's having 1-3-1, having a rough time in that mid lane, and that's going to prompt SFU to go to that mid side. Maybe looking for another turret here. So we actually saw a curtain call coming out on the top side. I think that was just
canceled it out here. Shimmy, though, wants to come in flash with it. Yaba in a little bit of trouble, but it's actually going to be the Drowsy now coming down on to Timmy Tommy, and he does not stand a chance. But meanwhile, it's a kill back for Yaba, and he's going to need that one. It's going to feel good. Flashes in and out with the heals, and it makes sure that he gets okay. Only by the skin of his teeth, but they cannot dive. So he will be backed off. This is a lot of tower priority now for Simon Fraser, but here in the mid lane, we're back to the top side of things, and it's all topsy-turvy here.
The Rift Herald is almost out, by the way. He doesn't have it. All right, there's no Rift Herald used, unless he just now used it. He may have just used it, actually.
Yeah, there
it was just spawned.
Summoning.
He had to use that. It was almost running out. That's going to create a big shove in the bot side.
He's isolated here.
He's isolated, and that Rift Herald may not matter.
Ooh.
The troll was just eaten.
Yeah, the consume. So Cho'Gath going to get a little bit stronger, a little bit stackier there as he does top a feast onto that one. And now they're going to go police the Rift Herald out of this bot lane. They're not going to worry about that in the slightest. And the pace still staunchly in favor of Simon Fraser University as they're only continuing to stretch leads. They're going to try to get Zaker under tower here. Not too concerned with that as the Call of the Forge God does come down and
not really.
It buys him a little time. Didango here, though. He's isolated. Zaker's in trouble. You cannot face check brushes like that and That's a big issue. It will cost him at least
the
flash for this one, but not his life. They put Caitlyn to sleep, yeah, but will not be able to pull off the final shot, and that means Didango gets out of that one scot-free. Not even going to try with the ace in the hole.
Timmy Tommy had a very clutch black shield, saving Yaba 12 with that maneuver. That paddle star would more likely have killed Yaba if Shimmy had the full combo on. Not to mention Zaker. Zaker, that's who you need in your front line right now. Zaker has the Abyssal Mask. He has some magic resistance to stand up against Shimmy's onslaught with the paddle star. So needs to be careful. Needs to get him on the front line in front of these squishy targets like Kerbek, like Yaba. Not to mention that also deters Didango from going in and trying to assassinate people, because if you get everybody grouped on the side of Illinois, there's really not many targets that Didango can really go after. You have a lot of resistance against him. Of course, the pillar is going to be a huge burden to Didango going in, but we have a little bit of action going on the top side. Yaba is going to be deleted.
He gets absolutely destroyed on the leap strike in. That's not good. Shimmy on the back line says we don't even need the curtain call. Erase can just erase that one from the books, and Yaba and Timmy Tommy both now destroyed. This bot lane for the likes of Illinois has been falling on some hard times this game, and it's spilling over now to the rest of the map. I mean, we still have 3-0-0 on Zaker. His record thus far.
It's an Ornn, though.
Yeah, very safe, but how is he going to be able to take over this game? What is he going to be able to do? Nobody knows just yet. Ocean Drake, next one on the docket. Top tower being pushed down pretty heavily. More neutral objective priority. All in the hands of Simon Fraser right now. We talked about the first game not being the most important necessarily to Illinois, but I don't think you want to have this kind of showing thus far.
If it's important to them in any factor, it's because it's important to that it shows them what they were doing wrong, that they can fix it later on in game number 2. That's exactly what we saw yesterday against Robert Morris. They didn't have a great game number 1, but they fixed their problems in game number 2, and especially game number 3. Timmy Tommy absolutely went off on the Morgana, but having a really rough time at 0-5-5 right now. But it is up to them to keep cool, keep calm, not let the pressure get to them, and just prepare for game number 2. It's still early, though. It's only 20 minutes, so there still can be that deciding team fight that we haven't seen the actual 5v5 yet of Illinois. But it's not going to happen if they keep getting bursted down.
Yeah, they keep finding these nice picks. I mean, they don't want a 5v5 when they have Didango on Kha'Zix, and man, by the skin of his teeth, does Jungle Boy get out of that one. But Timmy Tommy looking for a flank. That could be dangerous.
Anybody. Yeah, there's nobody there with you.
With that, I mean, yeah, they're having to pull back Kerbek and Jungle Boy here. Both are just going to need to reset, but it gives a lot of mid lane pressure now to the hands of Simon Fraser, and they like to tighten those screws when they're in this kind of position. They know they have all sorts of advantages just lurking off in the wings, with Didango being able to use that ultimate to sneak on in to find a kill. They're just going to back off. They need to let this pressure reset, they feel like. Maybe patrol those side lanes, make sure their top tower doesn't get too heavily beat up here. And it's going to mean a return to a 5-man mid from the likes of Illinois here.
SFU are doing a great job playing to their strengths, their team comp right now with
nice pillar.
With the pick potential. Fantastic pillar, actually, and that allows Illinois to get their first turret of the game, trying to keep themselves in this and alive ever so slightly, as they are going to now put some vision and priority around the Baron, keep themselves.
Hey, top tower too.
Yeah, it's actually almost down. It was being pelted on earlier, but they might just finish that up right here.
We haven't seen the old banner command today yet.
No, that was something that we didn't see from SFU or UBC yesterday, and it showed up in the second best of 3, second semifinal with I'm sorry,
I think we had
Illinois.
3 in one game or something.
Yes,
the top and the jungle,
it was
and
at
then
least
the
2.
opposing top.
Yeah, it was at least 2, and that was actually implemented by Illinois. And they coincidentally lost that, but it was just barely lost, honestly. They had such great wave control because of those banner commands. They had one on their support and their top laner. Haven't seen it this time around. You have to wonder if maybe they want to look at all assets that they can use to dispose of this SFU onslaught. Maybe taking control of the lanes, maybe one of those options that they have. They want to build a banner command, get something shoved in the top side, because Shimmy will not be able to deal with it. They have to send somebody else, either Erase, Didango, or Alith in that top side, or wherever they put a banner command minion. Of course, they have to build banner command first, something they are not doing.
Well, something that they might consider, looking at the way that these last couple of minutes have gone, just in terms of the waves. The wave clear, very strong from Illinois right now. They can really take out the minions quite quickly, and it doesn't seem to be a great answer for Simon Fraser on that besides get kills. So if they're not collecting kills, they're not building pressure. And in a situation where Illinois are now deciding, hey, we need to slow this game down, take a little bit of a breath, make sure we're not in too much haste here, it becomes a little bit trickier now for Simon Fraser. They seem a little lost and maybe try to get the split push online, try to get some vision down, but there's not the same decisiveness we've seen for the past 20 minutes.
That's what I want to actually talk about too, is that Simon Fraser has been playing at their pace so well, the aggressive pace that they had to snowball. And they've been doing it so well, and now the remainder of SFU are grouping. They're now trying to dictate the pace of the game and play at their rate, because if they can throw off SFU and how aggressive they are, not let them get those aggressive picks, Simon Fraser may not have an answer coming into the mid to late game that Illinois may have. Illinois, they have a great team fight comp.
And good scaling.
Great scaling too. Simon Fraser, they have a great I'm going to kill you comp, but now everybody's grouped. It's harder to execute that. They have to get a pick.
It's a nice on-the-fly adaptation coming to the likes of Illinois here. We'll see if it gets them a little confidence, maybe a little too cocky, because
you gotta dodge
misstep,
those.
yeah, against Shimmy here does mean disaster. So building up a nice wave in the bot lane. Top is being hard pushed now by the likes of Erase. Trying to find the back form in terms of pressure, and I think at this point SFU will take whatever they can get, and it might be in the form of Yaba here. He goes right back into it, but no, this is bad news for Didango. Yaba going to be able to get out barely with the fourth shot of the curtain call not connecting. Shimmy says it doesn't matter, we'll get him anyway. Gonna go to the back line and finds it. Jungle Boy 2 might be on that list, and he writes that name down. It does go to Set Naverick getting the kill for that one, and now Kerbeck and Zaker, the last two alive. Zaker trying to avoid that first death, but it does come find him anyway. And the top lane tower is going to be the next focus of these champions here for Simon Fraser. They're going to be able to absolutely destroy through it. They only lost Kha'Zix, who was not the best at a siege anyway.
Correct.
And with that, they may have their eyes on this Baron. They don't necessarily need their jungle if the enemy jungler is dead as well. They're all going to take the blast cone right over the wall as well as the red buff. And we'll see whether or not they start up the Nasher. They do.
Feast is not available. Smite is on its way, but there is absolutely nothing on the side of Illinois to really counter this one. So wise move, going to take it. You have the advantage. Don't wait. That is one of the things that they actually did yesterday against the third game against UBC. They had full control of that game pretty much the entire time, and they took a very long time pulling the trigger. This time they're not going to wait. They have the advantage. They're going to shove it, taking that Baron. And Didango, yeah, he was caught out, but man, Shimmy is on fire. You have to ban that one next game away from Shimmy. Zoe, I mean.
Yeah, no, definitely. Zoe, I mean, came in so strong here for Simon Fraser. And, you know, it was actually banned next by UBC in their second game. That was the only game they won of that series when they did take it out over Simon Fraser. So
I see a pattern.
Yeah. Hey, maybe don't let him have Zoe. Now, obviously, was not banned in game number 3. So let that one through, and he said, hey, it's not the biggest deal anyway. We're just going to come out and, play Zoe. Look at that.
Yeah, if it's up, he'll play it. Like I said, it's his most played champion in solo queue, over 150 games. He has quite the familiarity with it, and you can see that considering how much of a pivotal,
right.
How pivotal he is in team fights. I'll get
Just
this out
the
eventually.
impact of this, yeah.
I'll get this out eventually. Didango went down. He got caught. There was really nothing. The health bars weren't even touched on the side of Illinois. Shimmy comes in and says, I'll change that. And he flew in there. It wasn't just sauntering. He flew, threw some Sleepy Trouble Bells down, Paddle Stars, and absolutely decimated the rest of the team. Not to mention, he has a Lich Bane as well, so he's going to be added even more because his auto attack already gets empowered after he throws out his abilities, so he's going to have even more power added to that too with his with the Lich Bane.
That's how good his Zoe is. It sometimes leaves us speechless here at the CSL desk here in Huntington Beach. As things going from bad to worse now for Illinois. Shimmy right up in the face of everybody, pushing it on down. And I gotta say too, I think the Zac ban has been paying it dividends. Jungle Boy has not looked like the force of nature that he was last
He's definitely not the secret weapon.
Yeah, he was Illinois' secret weapon throughout. Call the Forge God going to try to interrupt the curtain call. Fourth shot not coming off, but Yaba going to get rooted up. There's the Dark Shield. Is it enough? Doesn't look like they're going to be able to find him. So they try to chew through these towers instead. They'll take that happily, the inhibitor, the next target of their focus. There's a wave in the top lane, but they're not too concerned about it. All it's going to mean in practicality is that they do have to back off after this push and reset their lanes.
And they may as well. They have the advantage right now. They can't absolutely win just yet. There's no minion wave to really work with, and there is still quite a bit of wave clear on the side of Illinois, so they're going to just play it cool. SFU going to spin their spoils, come back even stronger. I suspect this next push may be the last one, especially if they can get a team fight and cannot take care of Shimmy. And that's a point, too. That was a big problem. Dadango's not really an issue right now. It's the big Shimmy Zoe right now in the big Jin. It's not as big as Zoe, but if you do kill Zoe, you still have Jin to worry about because he's still dishing out a ton of damage as well.
They're pushing out the last Baron waves here. There will be no more Baron that will connect with Tower.
Correct.
Just the way the timing's working here, but they found themselves the inhibitor off of it. That's going to be the most potent, lasting point to touch on here. So with that, they're resetting around this top side. They know they kind of have control of this top side jungle. They can drop wards every which way. And
they have control of everything.
Yeah, they're not too worried about it. With no Drakes on the board, with no Baron at any time soon, they're just going to set up shop in all the fighting areas. It's what they want to do, is continue to find picks, and we'll see whether or not they fall susceptible to the death brush that's being set up now by Illinois here.
This is essentially their only choice. They do have a nice scouting abilities from 3 of the members, actually 4 of the members of SFU. Between Deadly Flourish, the Q from a Karma.
There's a face check they wanted. That Dango did go in for it. It was just a couple seconds off. Mismatch of timing, and Pillar called out just to save his own ward there and maintain Bush priority. They're 10K gold down. They'll fight for whatever they can.
I think it's going to be it.
At this point, Call. The Forge God is coming through. It only finds Aelith. It does get a little bit onto a race in the back line, but he's in the safe zone anyway. The Shockwave will connect with 2, and Didango is the target. Aelith doing his best to block up for this one. Ace in the hole. Going to be taken on the chin with very minimal worries. Zoe, not a part of this fight, keep in mind. Shimmy's just out here looking for the flank. Or maybe trying to pull up the wave into the mid side, but certainly not with the rest of his team. And that means that Aelith going to have to go on back here. Is not too stressed about that one. Does have the teleport to come in, and likely will call as necessary.
So Aelith he went back, bought a Warmogs. I suspect he's going to be using his teleport pretty soon if they want to keep sieging this, so just to hold on to a mini. But it looks like SFU, they're just going to back off completely, and this is not good. You have to, really press the advantage if you have it. You don't need to go back and get items. You already have, you've outpowered your enemy as it is. Don't let Illinois become, get the opportunity to farm and get that crucial item that may turn a team fight into their favor. But SFU, again, this is kind of a trait that they displayed yesterday, is that they play it very cool and collective sometimes.
Slow play the end game.
They definitely do. They will hold the gun for quite a while before they pull the trigger.
Just making sure that they plan out for every possible scenario and don't throw. That is their biggest worry, is just making sure they do not throw away these leads that they've built for themselves. Well, it is a 10K gold lead on the button. 10 kills as well. Math doesn't always work out that way, but this time it did. Inhibitor's been down for some time. Baron's only a minute away, as well as the last of the elemental drakes before we do get on down now into the Elder. It's only going to be a Cloud Drake. We'll see if it even comes that far, because it may just be one more Baron, one more push, and the end of days.
What's the point of this?
Ooh, bad news. Tommy face checking, and does cost his team a whole hell of a lot there. Call. The Forge God does not net anything, and they wait to pop the curtain call until that knock up from a distance is down. It's only going to do a little bit of damage to the front line, and Aelith, being the front line, takes a lot more damage on the side of Simon Fraser University. And they're just content to back off. They get a kill on the support. Maybe Jimmy trying to get in for something. Yes, that's Yabba. This is going to break things wide open for a change. And trying to push on down now. They have a lot of presence in this with the minions they brought to the top with themselves. This is likely another inhibitor going down for Simon Fraser, if not more.
The atomization from Illinois is really disappointing me as well. There's no Quicksilver Sashes, something you desperately need because it will break the Sleepy Trouble Bubble. It also gives you magic resist too, so you won't get absolutely bursted down that way. There are no Guardian Angels, something that defends against bursting. There's no itemization really coming into play on the side of Illinois. Timmy Tommy builds Shirelia's, doesn't absolutely need it. You're not chasing anybody. If anything, you're using
You're
it to
running
get-
it away, right?
You're running it away, and that's not how you need to use Shirelia's. So
Oh, they messed up getting Cho'Gath over the wall.
he'll be fine. He's gonna walk it out.
Yeah, they don't even need him to take this one away.
No,
Inhib
this
just
is
spawned
easy
in the
for
bot
them.
lane, but Baron just taken out and away for Simon Fraser University, looking commanding this game. 33 minutes thus far, and no signs of slowing down. We had a lull over the last 10. Around 20 minutes, it started to get a little bit more precaution taken now from the side of Simon Fraser, but here the train seems to be picking up some steam again. They're going to take the Dragon just because why wouldn't you? We want everything we can have, and denying the Cloud Drake to likes of Illinois seems only thematically fitting for a team that prioritized the Drake so heavily throughout their series, but this is valuable Baron time. They think they're going to be able to end on it anyway, but they are kind of wasting it here in this pit.
That's just kind of again, that's the thing that they've been doing is that they did shove one advantage. They took the Baron earlier. That was great. But now again, they're slow playing it, something that they did a lot yesterday. SFU, they just want to make sure every one of their bases are covered, no matter what.
Hey, look, it's an extra $2,500 on the line. I'd do it too.
That is correct. They are playing cautious because it is a lot on the line. They don't want to get over aggressive because again, it's at the point where death timers will start determining whether or not the game ends with one team fight as we approach the 34-minute mark.
Two here, I want to kind of touch on maybe the mental aspects of all of this. A quick, clean loss is a lot easier to bounce back from than a long 35, 40-minute struggle. Hang on, it's
That was
just
the
bad
first
news.
shockwave I've
Erase
ever seen.
not going to be in too much trouble here, but Shimmy trying to make things happen. They do find a lot of kills. That is going to be 3 on the board thus far. An inhibitor as well. Zaker on the run for his life. And they find Yaba on the back end of things. It is the ace in the fountain as Erase gets that one for himself on a quadra kill and will push down the Nexus towers. They finally break it open in 35 minutes, and that'll do it, ladies and gentlemen, for game number 1. Simon Fraser take first blood in this series. Illinois, accustomed to losing game number 1, but maybe not in such a fashion.
They talked about it. Well, the coach rather talked about it. Sink ships, they scrim their the Big Ten team, Illinois, quite frequently. They said Sink ship says the Big Ten team usually smacks them down pretty hard, so they're used to losing that game number 1. They lost game number 1 yesterday, came back, beat 2-0 Robert Morris after that. Well, technically 2-1 if you want to get technical best of threes, but you know what I mean. So he said that they're not accustomed to winning that first game, which means it doesn't tilt them as much. They've practiced the mental fortitude that they have to have going into game number 2 as on the losing end.
Well, we'll see what they can do to bounce back from that. Some questions in the draft. One answer. Likely banning out that Zoe, right?
That would be a great idea. That would be a great start.
Don't think that it's necessarily going to work its way in to this next game. Anything but weak. This was a strong pickup now for Shimmy. He ended the game 10-2-9. Taking a look at his personal goals, had 16K. Only one in that same area was Erase. 8 kills himself. The carries had a lot of resource funneled into them, and they made it happen for themselves. As you do see, a lot of action coming through out there. So with that, game number 1 on the books. Looking ahead to game number 2. What kind of things are you looking to change up now if you're Illinois, do you think?
Well, we already know that.
Yep.
Zoe ban.
And Zoe.
Needed to somehow get some Jungle Boy on a more comfortable jungler. He had absolutely no effect in any of the ganks. He did a little bit in the bot lane, but other than that, there was really no prioritization on the other lanes. There was really no helping him. Even in the top side, Zaker, he got all of his kills on the bot side, by the way. Teleporting down there earlier, that wasn't Jungle Boy helping him. That was him doing it himself with the teleport. So Jungle Boy needs to get onto a more comfortable jungler, something that he can affect the lanes a lot more, because that mid lane got absolutely shut down. Kerbeck had no chance against a Kha'Zix and a Zoe.
Absolutely was a troublesome situation for them. So what gets to me here is Illinois tried banning off the Zaya, right? They said, hang on, we're going to put a little bit of pressure to shut down Erase here. Team captain, he was the one that popped off throughout. So with that, looking now that trying to push into the likes of hey, we shut down the mid laner, that's fine, but they still don't seem to have an answer for this erase question because their first strategy didn't work in that regard. So with all that, we will see what they can do to make it all kind of copacetic here for games 2, potentially game 3. They do want to find that for themselves as well, but in the meantime, we are going to throw it over to a short break, give the players some time to prepare. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kyle Corvus Crow, been joined at the desk today by Joshua Feck as Quest. We have game number 2, Simon Fraser versus Illinois in the CSL JV1 Grand Finals coming up right after this break. Don't go anywhere.
And Cloud9 just one round away from hoisting the trophy here at iBuy Power Masters.
Because Renegades shouldn't expect him to be in this position. Cloud9 need the bomb down, and they need it down now. There's 20 seconds left, but it's wrong. Luckily, Rush is right, and he finds 3 kills. Make it 4. Massive shutdown on the Antique. It's a double AWP up for Renegades, and Skadoodle, he'll make it work. Nifty dead as well, and that's it. Cloud9, ladies and gentlemen, will be your victors here at the iBuy Power Masters.
Power your play with Intel Core i9 Extreme Edition processor.